Hey guys, what's up? How are you? I hope that you guys are having an amazing day today. If you are new here, hi, my name is Jarrell, and in today's video we're going to be trying and talking about the new Pat McGrath Mothership 10. She is here and she is here for real. So we're going to talk about the whole entire palette, my experience, what do I really think about this palette, and of course you guys are going to get 3 looks with this palette. You can find all of the information, timestamps, and all of the information that I have on my face down below in the description area, just in case you guys are interested. But let's go ahead and get into the video. But before we do, please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel if you have not already. And without further ado, let's get started. So here is how the box looks like. This is the Mothership 10 Moonlight Seduction. Here is a palette. It is made in Italy and it retails for $128. The color story, I am not going to lie, I think that it is really nice and beautiful, but I am getting tired of the rosy, mauvey, pinkiness tones of it. Even though these shades right here are not as pinky as the other palettes from Pat McGrath, we can still see a little bit of like those shades, like rosiness. Here we have the swatches for the 3 mattes, but I am not going to lie to you guys, I am really getting tired of the mauve tones, pinkiness. I just want something different. Yeah, this one is a little bit more of a cool tone, like charcoal. We've seen this a shade in her other palettes. I think that is in Mothership 1. Yeah, it is definitely on the Mothership 1. But these 2 are here. We can definitely find it throughout her collection. And I know that she loves her pinkiness because all of the last 3 palettes that we have received, 9, 8, and 7, those are all pinky tones. I just created a playlist with a new tutorials using those exact palettes, and if you guys want it, I will link it down below in the description area just so you guys can get some ideas of how to create more looks or just to get inspiration from those looks. But because I just finished doing those tutorials, I can definitely tell you right now that these shades right here are not anything new. We can find these shades definitely in her collection. They might not be as deep as these are, but you can definitely dupe them. And I'm so tired of the pinkiness. I'm so tired. I love Pat McGrath so much. I think she is amazing artist. I love her astral shades, the special shades of this palette. I think that that is the reason why I paid the $128. I'm not going to lie. These special shades right here are just absolutely everything on the eyes, and they are just, they're worth like every single like hype that you hear on the internet, because they are just amazing. The quality, the way that they just go on, the way that they look in person is just absolutely stunning. But those shades, so pinkiness, are just so I'm not going to talk about them anymore. Let's go ahead and move on to the other shades that I wanted to talk to you guys about. These special shades right here are just amazing. So here we have like a lilac-y shade. It's like a silver lilac-y shade, and then we have this beautiful champagne shade as well. And here we have the 4 special shades. I think that they are just fantastic, amazing, beautiful. I mean, it's just super gorgeous, and I love that they are very light in tone, just because you can definitely pop them on your lid, which is really where they go, and they're going to just make a statement whether you use 1 or 2 or 3 like I have on my eyelid. They're definitely going to make a statement, and they are different enough for you guys to see it on the eyes, and that is just amazing quality right there. The other shade that I really do like is this one right here, which is a little bit of a gunmetal kind of shade. I think that is really nice and taupey, especially for those like days that you just want to wear something a little bit more like subtle. It's not so like blinging and or like, you know, too duochrome or anything like that. The only shade that I don't really care for is this one right here, which is a bronzy kind of gold. It's just whatever. Really is nothing special to me. And the other shade that I do like, highlighting shade, but we do have like repeats of that shade for sure. But this one is really nice. and like really white, so it's definitely going to pop in your inner corner. Overall, this palette, in my opinion, if you are a collector of a Pat McGrath, or if you never tried any Pat McGrath, is definitely something to look into. You can wait for the sale because she constantly has sales at 30% discount of all of her palettes. So I definitely suggest for you to wait for a sale if you're interested in picking this up and you're just not like super intrigued about it, but you still want to try it. Definitely wait for a sale. But if you're a collector of Pat McGrath, or you just love her quality, you just love her special shades, and you definitely want to get your hands on it, I don't think that you will be disappointed, especially if you are like super in love with her special shades like I am. I think that you're going to be super impressed and happy with this palette. But yeah, Pat McGrath, we definitely want something a little bit different, away from the rosiness. Maybe we will get something like that in the future. I'm hoping that we do. I love green tones. I love green tones. But we definitely want something new, especially because she is just so amazing on putting a palette together, and those special shades, oh my goodness, are just delightful. So yeah, I'm going to stop rambling right now. So let's go ahead and get into the looks. All right, so let's go ahead and start with the first look, and I'm using my P. Louise base, and I'm going to be using my P. Louise base for all the looks. I'm going to add a little bit of primer on my lower lash as well. All right, so here we have the palette. Going in with a Rosewood Romantique, and using a fluffy brush like this, I'm going to just run that on my crease. I'm going to focus that in the outer part first. I'm going to do tapping motions and then little circles, and then connecting it to my outer V. And this is going to be our transition shade. So I'm just going to make sure that this color is built to the intensity that I like. I'm not going to dip on it. I'm actually going to clean a little bit of this brush on a paper towel, and I'm going to go on the edges to make sure that it's really nice and blended. Just to clean up, I can always go back with the brush that I added the primer and just cleaning up the edges a little bit if it went a little bit too in. I'm going to take Extreme Nocturne, which is this really nice grayish kind of tone shade, in a super tiny brush. I'm only going to take like very little of it, just because I don't want it to be too smoky. I still want it to be like nice and wearable, and I'm going to make sure that it's really blended out because I only want a little bit of definition on my outer V. I don't want it to be too smoky, too intense. And whatever is on the brush, I'm just going to add it to my crease and just define my crease a little bit more. Going back with the previous brush, and I'm working on those matte shades first before I add any of the shimmer shades, just because it becomes a little bit more difficult to blend those shimmer shades and they just kind of go everywhere. So just making sure that everything is nice and blended, and using the same shade, which is Rosewood Romantique, and just adding that color on my lower lashes, on the outer part of my lower lashes, and adding a little bit of the Extreme Nocturne on really close to the lower lash, and just connecting this outer V. And just like that, that really makes it nice and wearable. And I'm just going to clean up a little bit with the brush that I applied my primer with right here. Now taking Blitz Venus with my finger, and I'm going to add that right on the lid. Going back with the little super detailed brush, just blending the edges. Adding this shade right here, which is Skin Tense Glow. And I'm going to take a pencil brush. I'm just going to add it to the very inner corner and a little bit on my lower lashes. Just bringing it up a little bit. All right, now taking VR Sextasy, and just for a little pop, we're going to add this one to our lower lashes. Of course, you can definitely skip that and just leave it bare, or just add a little bit more of the transition shade and just leave it like that. So this is it for the look. Let me go ahead and clean it up and I'll be right back. All right guys, so here is the first look. And let me just turn down the lights a little bit so you guys can see how beautiful they sparkle. All right, let's go ahead and start with the second look, and now using Extreme Nocturne and the Refer 13 brush, which is one of my favorites just because it's super tiny. I am going to get a little bit more smokier with this eye. I'm going to start pressing that shade on our lid, and when we have barely nothing, I'm going to start blending it out and really start creating my shape. But I'm going to really just keep it right here. I'm not going to stand it out too much, like something similar to this shape right here. I'm grabbing a little bit more and doing the same thing and doing little circular motions. I'm just blending it out. All right, now taking a Plum Cabaret, which is this one right here, and the Refer 14 brush, which is pretty small as well. Just going to use that to blend the edges, and little by little I'm going to start bringing it in. Going back with the Extreme Nocturne brush and just going back with those two colors and blending it out, and really not adding anything back into the brush just because I don't want to use too much pigment. I don't want it to be as intense as it is right here in here. So this color right here, it's a little bit more plummy. This one is a little bit more rosy, less intense as the plummy shade. But those are the only 3 matte shades that we have, so that is what we are working with. And just adding a little bit of the Extreme Nocturne also on my lower lashes, a third of the way, and using Plum Cabaret and doing the same thing on the lower lashes. I am going to use a clean blending brush, just blending the edges, using this beautiful shade right here, which is Astral Lilac Aura. I'm going to use it with a brush just because my nails are not helping, but look at that shade. Oh my goodness, how beautiful. And I'm going to add it all over the lid. And I'm going to bring it around and adding a little bit of that shade on the bottom lower lash. All right, so I'm going to use my finger just to add a little bit of more oomph to the look. I'm going to clean this up in a little bit. And now I'm going to take VR Sextasy again, and I'm going to use that just to connect these two right here. And now going back with this little brush so you guys can just blend it and just shape it up a little bit more. And just adding a little bit more of that plummy shade. Just doing little tweaks here and there to perfect the look to your liking. Now using Planum Dusk, which is this beautiful metallic shade right here with a really nice small brush. And I'm just going to run that on our lower lashes from the inner part and just meeting with the shades that we had there. Right in the middle, I'm going to add the VR Sextasy right here. All right guys, so this is the second look. This has to be one of my favorite Pat McGrath looks ever, and that is insane. And here are both of the looks. So just to avoid any kind of fallout, glitter on your face or anything, do your base first. I definitely learned my lesson. Here it's really nice and clean because I applied the base after I did my eyes, but here I did my base and there's glitter, and just it's really hard to get it off once it actually falls on top of your base. So yeah, these are the two looks. Let's go ahead and do the final look. So let's go ahead and take this shade right here, which is Rosewood Romantique, and I'm going to use my Sigma E25 brush. And that is going to be all over my crease. So from the outer corner to the inner corner. And I'm going to bring you in a little closer. And I'm just going to really use that shade as our transition shade. Stand it out just a little bit, not too much. And just running it on the lower lashes a little bit. a third of the way. Taking the Sigma E27 brush and Plum Cabaret, and I'm going to do the same thing that I did. I'm just going to bring it down a little bit, so I'm not going to take it too high up. I'm going back with the Sigma E25 brush and just blending the edges, and doing this a couple of times until I am satisfied with the blending and how intense I actually want this look to be. So just going back with those two shades, little circles around the Plum Cabaret, and bringing it down to my lower lash halfway, just like that. And now we do the same thing to the other eye. Trust the process, okay? Trust it. It doesn't look pretty, but I promise you it will. So let's go ahead and just deepen things up even more with the Extreme Nocturne, which is this shade right here. I'm going to use it on a Ref 13 brush. It's one of my favorite brushes just because it is super tiny, and it allows me to get to the areas that I want. And I'm just going to really focus that shade in the outer corner, right in this outer V, and I am just going to keep it right there. Just going back with Plum Cabaret and blending those edges, and just bringing that Extreme Nocturne just a little bit on the crease with whatever is on the brush, very lightly, just to give us a little bit of definition. All right, when you have something like this, I am going to take a Bronze Devotion, which is this shade right here, on a brush. I'm going to just add it on our lid, and this is going to be our base for the next shade. And I'm taking the brush where we have the darkest shade. I'm just going to use it to blend that shade in. And using the Artistry one from Pat McGrath, I'm going to just add that to my lid. And I'm going to do one eye at a time. And now taking Astral Gold Lust, and I'm going to press it down. And I'm going to add a little bit more right here. And using VR Sextasy with my finger, I'm going to just pat that right where those two shades meet. Just adding it on the outer corner, just like that. You know what? And I'm actually going to add Blitz Venus right in the center, like a little bridge for those two shades. That's a lot of sparkle right there. Okay, all right, so let me go ahead and do the other eye. So I went ahead and did my brows, my base, powder, and concealer, and all that good stuff. All right, so I'm going to tie line. So let's go ahead and just finish up the eyes together. I am going to tie line using my brown MAC pencil, and this one is in the shade Coffee. Now for the lower lashes, I am going to take Blitz Venus right here, and I'm going to add that to the inner part of my lower lash. And I'm going to take that, just leaving a little bit of space in the middle. So just adding that shade right in the inner corner and just bringing it in towards the gold. I always have to bring it up. I like the way it looks. I'm going to take VR Sextasy again, and I'm going to just add that right in the middle. That is definitely the star of the show. I'm going to bring it pretty low. Super dramatic, but I absolutely love it. All right, and I'm just going to add a little bit of this shade right here in the outer corner, and just to bring it all together. And just to connect it, let's go ahead and add a mascara. I feel like I have jewels on my eyes. So I know that this look is super dramatic, but you can definitely appreciate and see all of the different tones and colors and texture on the eyes, and it just looks absolutely stunning. I also got two lip glosses from McGrath. One is in the shade Wicked Whisper and the other one is in the shade For Real. Alright, so this one is in the shade Wicked Whisper. And this one is in the shade For Real, which is more like a nudie shade. Love those glosses. Let me try For Real. Right in the center. Alright guys, so here we have the final look. Alright guys, so this is the final look. Once again, I will link everything down below in the description area just in case you guys are interested. If you do use my links, I do get a super small commission, so I really do appreciate it if you guys use my links. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for your love, your time, and support. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel if you have not already, and I will see you next time. Bye.